Hi everyone, this is Paco Polit for La Liga Lowdown, and here we are one more day with a new edition of Stadium Sitdown, where you already know that we are sitting down in front of a stadium. You can see it right there, Mestalla, which is going to be today the place where we speak all things Valencia with a friend of mine, Valencia-based journalist Pål Ødegård. Paul, welcome.
Hello.
And he's going to help us to try to understand what is happening this season with Valencia. Well, Paul, we should begin talking about the latest game. Obviously, Valencia won at Getafe with one single goal of Dani Parejo. Who else from the penalty spot? I would like you to tell us what did you think about Valencia's latest game and what is happening with them, because they seem a bit wobbly this season to date.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge disappointment this season when you compare it to the last one. And even if you have more matches, like you have to play the Champions League now, but still, there is something, there's no, it doesn't click anymore, and the biggest problem for me is to score goals.
Yeah, we are right now recording this while we have a cup of coffee. Thank you. And you can see
the most Spanish thing ever, the bocadillo.
Here, okay, so I believe that this is going to give us some real quality to the whole show. Okay,
yes.
Going to leave the almuerzo outside. If people don't know what almuerzo is, think about brunch, but much bigger, obviously. Okay, so we're talking, Paul, about Rodrigo and his accuracy, or better said, lack of accuracy.
Lack of accuracy, perhaps also a lack of decision making. Because I remember, if you look back, not last season, but the one before, you remember this was not in very good times, but then I also felt like Rodrigo very often took the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Okay, that is easy to say when you sit up on the stands, but I feel like it's a general lack of confidence in the team. At this point last season, Valencia had scored 3 times as many goals as now. That
stat is absolutely terrible towards their job this year.
I mean, the defense defense and midfield.
They're doing good.
They're doing pretty well. Also last night. Then you have to score goals to get the points. And I mean, some matches Valencia maybe been a bit unlucky, but overall I don't think so. It's something more profound. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a crisis of sorts. But it's curious why Marcelino's team doesn't click this year.
In talking about single players, before delving deep into that, I think that we should talk about the stats of the team. 3 wins in 16 games, totally not acceptable for a team which is playing in the Champions League. But at the same time, we should talk about the number of draws that Valencia have amassed so far this season. 10 games. 10 draws for Valencia, which speaks volumes about the way they have been unable to score, as you said earlier, but at the same time, I believe it shows that
you have
a very good, a very high defensive standard that you are keeping consistently every single game.
Maybe teams now read Valencia better than they did last season.
Possibly, yes, that's a
maybe they also, Simone Sasa is not here anymore. Maybe when he started last season, he scored practically every touch.
Do you miss Simone Sasa?
I rather miss maybe his attitude, but more maybe that somebody, you have this bully on top that can open spaces for the second runners like Rodrigo and Santimina, for example. So perhaps that is what is missing this year, and that is you have maybe a more dynamic attack without Sasa.
Yeah,
but
I like the word bully, actually, not because of the negative connotation, you could say, or negative sound to it, but in the sense that it threatens the opposition.
To make them feel uncomfortable.
Rodrigo is a very nice chap. Also, Gameiro is very relaxed, very calm down. Michi Batshuayi might be...
have a little bit of that character, but it's not Suarez or Diego Costa who twist your nipple when the camera is
or even bite you.
Yeah,
indeed. Paul talked about a player, a striker, which is nowadays not relevant in Valencia, Matsuagi. He has the gravitas of being a Chelsea player. He came to Spain as a star, playing for the Belgium national team, but he's not getting, I don't know if the groove or the confidence or he's not in the same dynamic as the rest of the squad, it seems to me.
Sometimes, look at Alexis Sanchez at Manchester United.
Yeah.
If you don't get along with your teammates, many of the Valencia players have played together, trained together for several seasons now. And they will also know each other better on the pitch. Some players just need longer to adapt to a new club. Some go straight into it, and others might need a long time.
And talking about big names, I believe one of them, it was the star of the summer. Okay, it was a very tough deal to be finished, but at the end of the day, Gonzalo Guedes came to Spain, once again to Valencia. However, he's not been that world-class player who everyone saw last season. What is going on with Guedes this year?
Maybe he's tired.
The World Cup was
a deal breaker,
yeah.
Also the mental strain of not knowing exactly where are you going to play next season, when all your life is, well, your future is practically dealt with by agents and well, I don't know if you can say now that Guedes came back because of financial fair play in Paris Saint-Germain, but
I believe that that's a fair point, and we could talk about that as one of the main reasons for Gonzalo Guedes being nowadays in Valencia, because obviously we're talking about a world-class player in the making, okay, but if Paris Saint-Germain wasn't so tight-gripped with the financial fair play, I don't really know if Gonzalo Guedes would be here.
I really doubt it, actually. Simply because Guedes had such a fantastic season last season, and I mean, you don't have to be a professional agent or anything to know that his market value would have been higher somewhere else.
Yeah. What position would you try to strengthen next January? Everyone is talking about Pizzini and talking about the right back, but Daniel Vaz has done pretty great on those last 2 or 3 games.
I think Daniel Vaz is a very intelligent player.
Yeah.
And I watched him a lot at Celta Vigo, where he was excellent. But he's a very low-key. He doesn't make a big show of himself.
Yeah.
And he's very.
He plays in the same way he's on a personal level. Very quiet, very straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. Very humble.
Yes.
And the way he has shown his flexibility to adapt to any given position. He has played in 4 different positions, Daniel Vaz, this season. But the last one, right back, I believe he's the one where he's really shining and helping the most his team.
I discussed this a little bit with last night match with Hans Christian Lange. He said was really he did pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
And I mean, he still does mistakes. But
obviously.
I mean, if you have been put in another job, you would do some mistakes as well in the beginning.
We should talk about Parejo, I believe. What is your point of view on Dani Parejo? He scored against Getafe, but I believe he's the most controversial figure nowadays, the most controversial player who generates love and hate more or less in the same proportion.
Hasn't he done that since he arrived at the club?
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Yes.
Most veteran player here in Valencia.
But last few seasons, he's become more and more vital to the team. And you could say he has always been a hot topic because he takes big risks when he passes.
He does.
And when he doesn't, if it gets interrupted, it gets really ugly. Then Valencia get counter-attacked and
bad news overall.
Bad news. And when Parejo have good days, it's just brilliant. then you have one of the best central midfielders in the world. The problem is it's so visible when he doesn't have his day, and the question is, how do you solve that problem? Because if you take him off the pitch, who's gonna be the clock of the team?
The name might be Carlos Soler. Carlos Soler has been playing on the wing because Marcelino decided to do that since early in his run last season, and he's been playing there for 15 months and doing pretty well. But maybe Carlos Soler would be that last piece of the jigsaw to fit right in there in the midfield and be that Parejo alternative that Valencia need in some given games, right?
Yes, because Parejo is not that young anymore either.
No,
and
about to be 30 next year.
Yes, and sooner or later Valencia have to replace him. And maybe it's better to phase in Carlos Soler, who is born and bred here, than to suddenly have to start looking for a world-class playmaker when you maybe don't have the money or the time to get one.
We have to check out the run of games that Valencia have in the next couple of weeks. Home against Rayo, away against Juventus and also Real Madrid. And also 3 games at home in a run. The first of them against Ebro, that one should be easy. Against Sevilla, who is currently in the top 2 or 3 spots in La Liga. And that last and crucial game, we hope so, in Champions League against Manchester United.
I think the English expression is like a litmus test.
Yeah, indeed.
And okay, Rayo at home should be doable.
Yeah, I like doable as a word.
Then Juventus away.
It's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
We saw the other day against Manchester United that they have weaknesses.
They have.
Few.
And maybe they're a bit more relaxed as well now. They are in control of the group. But Valencia really needs to take a point there.
It's a clutch game.
Because of the points lost in Switzerland. I don't believe Valencia will end up 4th in this group. You never know, but...
that could be a crisis, a full-fledged crisis once again, if Valencia was 4th in the group stage. But
imagine having to do Europa League and fighting relegation again.
We don't like that here. We don't like that possibility.
No. But at the
yeah.
same time, I would like to point out that with such few points at this stage of the season, normally a manager will be sacked.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the right time now to think about sacking Marcelino. Simply because to gamble again with a new coach right now, we know Marcelino is a good coach. So as long as the players believe in him, I think he should stay on for now.
But I'm going to finish with a couple of questions not related directly to what is happening right now in Valencia. Everyone knows that Valencia is building, though currently it actually isn't building, a new stadium. Pål has witnessed how the stadium was, you could say, set off or started, but it was paralyzed. The stadium has been 10 years with no works whatsoever. No Mestalla, the new Mestalla. Do you actually think that you and me will see that stadium finished someday?
I don't know. I mean, sooner or later, Valencia will need a new stadium.
But we love this stadium.
You do.
We do. Everyone does.
That is the thing. Like now, Mestalla is in a new neighborhood, which is more
posh.
It's posh, but also sterile. Here it's closer to the city center. You have the apartment blocks right up to the buildings. You have. This is more normal Spain around the stadium. I feel it's the atmosphere is quite different. You have Manolo El Bombo. He's the guy who, since the 1982 World Cup, have been to every Euro and every World Cup in Spain with a big drum and it's not a Basque hat, but what do you call it?
Similar. Yeah, it's very similar to a Basque hat. very flat with like a little peak on the top. He's a very particular guy, and I'm sure that if you see a picture of him, you will recognize him instantly. So no Mestalla, we don't really know if it will be finished, not on time because it's already delayed for lots of years, for more than 10 years, but eventually it will have to be completed or destroyed. I believe that the first option is the most possible one. And
but also there's so much damage because it has been it just stood there now for many years, and it's now it's serving as a house for homeless cats and dogs and birds and seagulls and
stray
rats
cats and dogs.
And the damage to what has been already been built is I think it's quite severe. Like maybe you have to just tear the whole thing down, like you say.
Well, that's it for today. You can see that the sun is shining. Obviously, we're in Valencia, so sun must be a given in any single weekend. Thanks a lot, Paul, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
And we hope that you can enjoy this Centenario in the same way that we are going to do, in the same way that La Liga Lowdown is going to do, and try to tell everyone outside Valencia just how interesting this city can be. Also, remember, just as Paul has done since the first day, you must follow us on Twitter, for example, at La Liga Lowdown, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Not only subscribe, but also enable those so important notifications so you can enjoy all of the content that we have delivering your way. Also, remember that you can comment on all of the topics that we have covered here in this Stadium Sit-Down. And as always, we are thanking you for your attention, thanking you for your following. Remember to subscribe, and we will see you next time.